What's going on? Welcome to the Beyond the Bench podcast, Ep.4. Here with Nick,
What's
as
up, guys?
always, for the football section of the podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the championship games and Super Bowl predictions. Just in between, we got the Pro Bowl this week. Not going to talk about that. Don't like the Pro Bowl.
There's nothing interesting to talk about the Pro Bowl.
There's not even a game anymore. It's flag football. Preparing for the Olympics.
that Olympics team is going to be absolutely insane.
If America doesn't win,
then it's
a disgrace to the
shambles.
country.
It's absolutely shambles. We're gonna have Tyreek Hill going up against some from Austrian
random Japanese guy.
farmer. Yeah, it's gonna be absolutely amazing. I just want to make it.
It's over.
I want to make it known that I realize that I have worn, I think, the same hoodie every single episode.
It's so
if
funny.
If you're watching, it's a Snoopy hoodie.
Love the hoodie.
Love the hoodie. Anyways, let's get into the.
You want to start with the championship games and how easily the winners could have been switched.
Yeah.
Which game do you want to start with? Chiefs? Talk about the referees?
Start with the Chiefs. I honestly, I was texting you throughout this. I was texting Christian. I was screaming the entire time. The refs in that game, thank God I'm not an NFL player. I don't have to get fined for this. But the refs in that game should not have been reffing. They were so bad that I honestly have to put their ethics in check. That I honestly think that they should be put these refs. The refs that I like the Chiefs. I'm not a Chiefs hater, but the refs that up until this year, the refs that are put on these Chiefs playoff games should be put on a committee and studied by a psychologist because there is no way they are making these calls without getting paid. Like I understand the taunting call on Zay Flowers, but then at least call taunting on the Chiefs players. Travis Kelce was laughing in front of the referees as the definition of taunting in front of the referees, and he got no flag.
Yeah,
the amount of calls the Chiefs get away with, and then they complain like that Kadarius Toney's offsides. His foot was past line of scrimmage. Patrick Mahomes is like, "Oh, we never should have lost that. We never should have lost that." That is the most blatant offsides I think I've ever seen. The refs need to be better prepared because either they're getting paid or
they're like legitimately that bad.
They're legit. I would not be saying that if they were not that bad.
There's just no way they're actually that bad.
No, I mean, if there is a scandal going on, then that obviously that's very extreme. But I mean, if there is, we've seen the Chiefs getting help in the playoffs because of the refs. Like
year after year.
Like there was clear pass interference on Odell and Nelson Aguilar in that game. No call.
And no call. To beat the Chiefs at this point, you have to be light years better than them. Because if it's a close game, the referees are going to screw you.
Are going to favor you. And I'm going to be honest, the Ravens didn't play well. They played probably their worst game in the season when they needed it the most. But Lamar Jackson, I think the media kind of got to Lamar because obviously I don't know if he watches the media. I'm sure as a professional athlete he tunes it all out. But also with the internet, it's kind of hard to tune it all out.
Yeah.
I think that people got in his head saying that he only runs the football because there were clean, precise running lanes that he could have scrambled and gotten 10, 15, 20 yards on, and he decided to throw the ball, and it ended up in an incompletion.
Yeah.
He did not use his legs, and that's one of his
few rushing attempts just in general throughout.
I think there were 13.
The Ravens had, let me check. I'm checking right now.
I think it was like 13 or 16.
The Ravens had 16. Lamar had 8.
Yeah.
Gus Edwards had 3.
And Gus Edwards had 3 attempts for like 20 yards or something. He was productive when he got the ball, but they didn't just
3 for 20.
Yeah, I know my stats.
Zay Flowers had 115 yards though.
Zay Flowers went off, and honestly, that they should have won that game if that ball wasn't punted out at the 1 yard line. I mean, that was really horrible, and that was honestly karma because Zay Flowers was talking all that shit, dove, and then got it punted out. So I don't.
Honestly, I think Zay Flowers getting that taunting call, I think they would have scored a touchdown on that play. I really do.
Yeah, because
not on that play, on that drive.
What's
like they were like 15 yards, and I think they were on like the 15 or the 20.
Right.
And I don't even think they got a field goal out of that. They could have at least gotten a field goal.
They didn't get. I don't think they did get a field goal.
I don't think they got. I think they had a punt, or maybe Justin Tucker. Did Justin Tucker miss?
I don't know.
Speaking of Justin Tucker, you see what happened with him and Kelsey and Mahomes?
That was so stupid. That was so dumb.
Justin Tucker thought they were joking, but they actually took it seriously.
Well, because they're Travis Kelce. I love him.
He's the one player on the Chiefs I like.
I love Travis Kelce. I love him.
It might be because of their podcast.
Their podcast is so funny.
It's great.
It's actually so funny. But even on his podcast, he was saying that Justin Tucker violated an unwritten rule in football. Shut the hell up.
Yeah.
That's not. Stop being a bitch. I'm sorry. That's come on. You're grown men. Go out to dinner or something. And deal with it. You grow up. You're
all right. Nothing bad happens.
Yeah, really. They didn't say anything about your mother or anything. It's a helmet and a kick, a football. You're fine. But I think that incident brought in the toxicity of that game.
Yeah, I think it did.
I think
Zay Flowers didn't have to shove that guy back to the ground.
He didn't. He definitely did not. But I mean, listen, it's a high emotion game.
Absolutely.
And it was cold. He was trying to get it. He shoved him down and stared him right in the face and say, "I own you," or something like that.
Yeah, come on.
That was I understand people don't like taunting. I don't like taunting either. I don't think that should be a flag, but that was a little bit over the top.
That was a little bit over the top.
A little bit over the top.
Yeah.
But I think the Chiefs didn't even have that good of a game either. They were just. I think there were 5 punts in the game. There were a lot of punts in the game, and I don't think Patrick Mahomes was on his best. I don't think he was at his worst. I think that when they play against the 49ers in the Super Bowl, if they play like that, they're gonna get whooped. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. And on the Ravens side of the ball, you were at home. In my personal opinion, I don't think the Ravens are going to get a chance to go back to the AFC Championship with the same team that they have. I think that was their one chance, win it or none, and they threw it away.
So you say you think that was their one chance. I want to ask you something about the Lions. Do you think that was this was their one chance? Going into that game. Do you think that was their one chance?
No. And let me explain why.
Okay.
Let me explain why. I understand that division is going to be very hard to win
division. Yes.
in the future because I think every single one of those teams are going to get better next year.
If the Vikings bring back Kirk Cousins.
Even then,
they need to get a solidified quarterback.
Then, that offense is too high powered and that defense is too good to just shit the bed.
Madison sucked this year.
But
the Josh Dobbs experiment didn't work. Nick Mullins didn't work. You gotta find a replacement.
You can't judge Madison off of one back year. You saw what happened with Rashad Wright. He didn't have a great year last year, and now he was the RB 3, 4, something like that.
But nonetheless, they need a quarterback.
They do need a quarterback. I won't argue that.
And Justin Jefferson needs to stay healthy.
I mean, he's been healthy. This was his first long-term injury.
Absolutely.
So I think that since the division will be harder, it'll be harder for them to win, that division. But I think they'll be in a even better.
Do you think they'll win the division again?
I think they will. I think it'll be like a back and forth, kind of like the NFC East. I think that one team will kind of. I don't know if one team's going to dominate like the Packers did all those years. I think it'll be.
There has not been a repeated division winner in the NFC East since 2004.
Right. I think there probably will be a repeated winner, but I'm saying it won't be like the Patriots winning every single division up until
for
Tom
like
Brady
18
left.
years. Yeah.
So I think it'll be back and forth because their GM, amazing. Dan Campbell, I know he has some risky calls, but he has brought that team to their best level, and you cannot argue otherwise. I think he is the coach for that team.
Absolutely.
I think he is the coach for that team. I don't think you fire him under any decision, and I think all of Detroit understands that.
They won't. But okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just finish my thought. I think that since the division will get harder, it'll be harder for them to win the division. But I think they'll do fine in the wild card because their GM, they are drafting ridiculously well. They have had 3 successful drafts. They had not had really a single pick that has really let them down.
Their 4 draft picks this year were
all made the Pro Bowl.
Unbelievable.
I think all of them made the Pro Bowl.
I think it was Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Branch, Sam Laporta, and someone else.
Yeah, but I think
they all made the Pro Bowl.
They've been all playing amazing, and I don't think that's slowing down. I think it will be harder, but I think we'll see more of them.
So Dan Campbell said that if he were to do it over, he would go for the 2 points every time. Do you agree with that? Oh, sorry. Jack Campbell's the other guy.
Jack Campbell. Okay.
But
do I agree with that? Like in that certain situation, like go for on 4th down.
In the exact situations that not the 2 points. Sorry,
the 4th down conversion. Yeah. Okay.
That's in fine. Those 2 situations, he said he would do it again. In those situations, would you have gone for it both times? Knowing how the Lions perform in 4th downs, like, do you take that risk?
Okay. If I was the coach, obviously I have no coaching degree or anything in this.
Absolutely.
But I would go for it on 4th down. If it fails, I go for the field goal because it's kind of a win-win. You have to understand when a coach goes for the 4th down, they send a message to their team saying, "I believe in you. We got this. Go out and just perform." If they don't do it, that message was still received, but you just get the points anyway. They had 2 chances,
Right. So you're saying if they miss, you go for it the first time, and if they miss, you go for the field goal the second time.
Yes.
Okay. See, I agree, but so in the moment, I agree.
It also depends on the situation. Like if it's earlier in the game, I would just kick the field goal. But
yes, but the way that they were, so knowing now how the game ended, obviously you can't know this while you're doing it. They lost by 6 points. So if they kick both those field goals, who knows what would have happened? Because that's 6 points. But I honestly, I never thought of it that way, the way that you put it. I honestly agree with you. Just go for it the first time. If it doesn't work out, don't go for it the second time.
Because there's a limit to the gutsy play calling that you can have if you're a head coach of an NFL team. We saw it what happened against Dallas. Yep. He went for it 3 times. 3 times. Missed every single one. Yeah. He went for it twice in an NFC championship. You can't do that every single time because then what does that say to the defense? Oh, they're probably going to go for it. It's not that hard to cover if they know what's happening. What makes 4th down so efficient, or for a lot of teams so efficient, is that the opposing defense, does not know that they're going to go for a 4th down until they all line up.
Right.
So if I were Dan Campbell, I'd rethink my 4th down strategy a little bit more.
And honestly, I also thought that they were for sure going to get the onside kick. That's like the most Lions thing. That would be the most Lions thing that ever happened.
I thought too. And they were literally...
They were that close.
They were, I think, maybe like this much from 10 yards. Or 15. Close. Is it 10 or 15?
10.
10? Yeah.
Yeah. They were so close.
It was so hard.
Phenomenal game. I think both games this weekend were amazing.
Amazing. I mean, I think the Ravens was a little bit crappier, but I mean, I was watching the NFC Championship in my TV room upstairs with like 20 other guys, and we're all just screaming at the TV. Yeah, we were all just screaming at the TV. It was very funny.
I got to watch with Landon at home.
Very nice. Very nice. Toucan.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Dan Campbell needs to rethink his strategies a little bit. But
I think it is too.
all in all, it worked this year.
It did, and honestly, I think that they got C.J. Gardner-Johnson from the Eagles. Great pickup. I think the only flaw, what I'm trying to say is, I think the only flaw in this team is their pass defense. C.J. Gardner-Johnson is good, but you can't just have one decent corner. You need two. You need three. You need a group of guys.
Brian Branch was good this year.
Right, Brian Branch. But like what I'm saying, like good, but you need experience too. He's a rookie.
Yes.
You know,
he's not safety.
He's not gonna know what to do in an NFC Championship game when his entire season is on the line.
No.
You know, so you need to draft better. You need to get cornerbacks. You need to sign some free agents. And then maybe the only other thing is maybe get the offensive line a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, a little bit more.
But other than that, I really don't think the Lions have a young team. If they had an older team, I would be much more concerned. Amon-Ra is in his third season? Second season? Jared Goff's only...
It feels like he's been in the league for so much longer.
Right, Jared Goff's still, in his 20s, right? Jared Goff's like 29?
He is 29, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Penei Sewell, he was drafted 3 years ago. I mean, Hawkinson, first-round rookie. Jameer Gibbs, first-round rookie. David Montgomery. Not Hawkinson, sorry. Laporta. Sorry. Mixing up my tight ends.
Sorry. This was Gibbs' third season.
Oh,
his second season starter.
Okay.
But his third season.
Gibbs? You mean
Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra, yeah. That's what I
he
thought.
had. The thing is, though, like, he's just a reception machine.
He is.
Like,
I think he had the most receptions behind CeeDee Lamb. I think
so. Like, in his first season, he had 90 receptions for 900 yards. Last year, 100 receptions for 1,100 yards. This year, 119 receptions for 1,500 yards.
Yeah, that's absolutely wild.
And his touchdown totals have gone up every year.
And the Lions need a guy like that. You know, Josh Reynolds, good wide receiver. You know, Jameson Williams, good wide receiver. They have a good young core, and I think.
How many yards did Josh Reynolds even have this year? 608. Honestly, 5 touchdowns, 608.
Not bad for a wide receiver.
3, because I think Jameson Williams is technically
the wide receiver too.
How did he do this year?
He didn't do that well.
He was suspended.
Yeah, but for 6 games after that, he didn't really do much anyway. He was consistently getting touchdowns, but other than that, it was like one touchdown.
He only had 2 touchdowns.
Oh, really?
2 touchdowns for 354 yards.
Yeah, that's not that good. What do you think the 49ers are going to do? Like how do you think they did in the NFC Championship?
I think they performed well. I mean, the Lions are a tough team to beat. They got lucky, but they performed well overall. Christian McCaffrey's a guaranteed touchdown every week.
Yeah, I mean, he's a touchdown machine. I think that if Debo is not playing on that offense, it is a completely different team. 100% a completely different team. And I think that if he's playing in the Super Bowl, he will give the Chiefs hell because
but absolutely, but Brandon Ayuk's a great receiver. Did you see the catch that he made off the guy's helmet?
Yeah, it was off the guy's helmet. He caught it. But what I'm saying is, you need 2 of those elite wide receivers to make damage. If Debo isn't playing, put Brandon Ayuk into double coverage, and then he's shut down. You know. Yeah. There's not really much you can do with that. I mean, George Kittle is good. I think they're definitely going to use him, but
he's just inconsistent.
Brock Purdy is a product of his environment. He's a great quarterback. He is an underrated quarterback in my opinion. I think he has the skills to get it done, but he is a product of his environment. If he does not have these weapons, he's not making plays.
Yes, absolutely.
But leading into that, what are your Super Bowl predictions?
The Chiefs. As much as I hate to say it, I think the Chiefs are winning.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are winning too.
I don't want to root for the 49ers either. But
I'm rooting for the 49ers. I can't have the Chiefs win again.
I can't root for the Chiefs.
I can't have. I don't give a crap about how many Super Bowls the 49ers won in the 90s, how pretentious their fans are. I do not give a crap. I do not want the
Good.
Chiefs
Give them
winning.
another one, please. Like,
give them another one and just stop this Mahomes.
I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna bet on the Chiefs because I cannot root for them.
I honestly I think that full strength Chiefs and 49ers come out on top. But in this particular instance, momentum is a real thing in playoff football.
Right.
The Chiefs have all of it, and they have the refs on their side too. I do not see the 49ers beating them. And if they do, thank the Lord. If they don't, then,
Like, it's going to suck.
It's going to be a good Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
But
the result is not going to be good.
Before I say this, I have nothing against Taylor Swift. I have absolutely not. She
did nothing wrong. She didn't ask for this.
And honestly, I honestly feel bad for all the hate that she's getting because
so do I.
Because everybody's all Taylor Swift and Taylor Swift that she's just dating somebody who's in the NFL, bro, and the guy just happens to be good. Like, it's not her fault that the camera pans her every 30 seconds. But that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna be like,
yeah, it's not her fault.
If the camera pans to her like every second, especially if the Chiefs win, I'm like, dude, like, there's other players. Show me the other players.
They should have just let her do the halftime show, so she doesn't have to be in the suite, so she can be in the back.
Yeah, I mean, I think she still would have been in the suite to watch her boyfriend play anyway. You can bet on if Travis Kelce proposes to Taylor Swift if they win.
I think he will. Absolutely.
You think he'll propose?
If they win,
they've been dating for like 4 months.
That we know of. I think they hid it for a while. I legitimately think he's going to propose at the end of this. If they win, I actually want to see what the odds are.
What are the odds of this?
I can't bet on that. The app I use doesn't have that.
Got you.
I hope. Imagine they do. I'll be pissed.
That would be really funny. I obviously we'll talk about this a little bit more next week as the Super Bowl comes a little bit closer. But I think the 40 what?
The odds honestly aren't like as. Like, they're long odds. Like, I thought it would be, like, better. Like, I thought it would be more likely to happen. Right now, it's plus 1,000, which is still crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's too, like, the odds are too good, I feel like.
Yeah, I think Vegas is trying to trick you there.
She has a concert in Japan the day before.
Oh, how the hell is she going to get back to the United States?
I actually read something. Like, the Today Show posted it on Instagram of how she can get back there. Let me read this to you. It's honestly, they make it seem so much harder than it is.
It's just taking a plane.
It's a 16-hour flight, but because of the time difference, it's so like she'll literally like they're like, oh yeah, like she'll be cutting it close. She won't get to Las Vegas until like Saturday afternoon. The Super Bowl's Sunday night.
She has an entire day.
Let me see if I can find it. It was so I actually was laughing. It was so funny.
Well, do you have any just so we could talk about the Super Bowl for a bit? Do you have any score predictions?
Ooh.
Like specific score predictions.
I feel like this is gonna be.
Let's go quarter by quarter.
Oh, okay.
Quarter by quarter score predictions. What are they?
Quarter by quarter. Give me a 10-7 first quarter in favor of the Niners.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Okay.
Yeah, 10-7, and then give me 3-0. Tie the game at half. 10-10 at halftime.
Okay.
And then I can't find the Taylor Swift thing. It's not. She'll make it in plenty of time.
Third quarter.
And then 7-7, so 17-17.
Okay.
And then fourth quarter, give me 14-10 Chiefs.
So you think they're gonna
So what's that? 30,
17. So, what?
Yeah, 31
31
to
to I can't do math right now.
27.
Yeah.
Wait.
No.
Yeah, 7.
20,
Yeah, 31, 27.
28. But yeah.
No, 27.
Why?
14, 10.
Oh, 14-10 you said. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think the Chiefs are gonna get that many in the fourth quarter. I'm going 3-7 first quarter. Niners on top.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna go. We'll give both of them a touchdown. So 10-14. Actually, 10-17. I think the 49ers are actually going to get another field goal.
Okay.
I think they're going to be put in a position where they're either going to score a touchdown or a field goal on most of their drives.
Okay.
I think that's when I think they're going to be inside like the 40 on most of their drives. After halftime, what am I at right now? I'm at 14. No, I'm at, what did I say? I said 3-7. Then I said 7-10. So 17-10.
Yes.
17-10. 49ers. I think the Chiefs are going to give them a little tug. I'll say 17-20. We'll give the Niners another touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And then fourth quarter, I'm going to say Chiefs touchdown 24, and then I'll give them a field goal, so 27, and then 49ers a touchdown, so 27-24. I think if I did that
I
math
think that
right.
math adds up.
If that math adds up, I could be horrible right now. I'm not that great at math, but I think that math adds up. So 27-24 Chiefs.
Okay. You want to hear my fun fact? You want to hear my fun fact?
Oh right, I forgot about this. What's your fun fact?
So, the first one didn't work out. The Bills.
Christian, have not. All of them have not worked out.
So my Kirk Cousins one.
Okay.
This one counteracts that. The Kirk Cousins one was that no team that has ever lost to Kirk Cousins in the regular season has ever won the Super Bowl. 49ers did lose to Kirk Cousins.
So you're saying the Chiefs are going to win?
So one of these two facts is going to be true. The Kirk Cousins one or the one I'm going to tell you now.
You have 100% win rate right now. There's no going wrong.
I can't. Okay. The 49ers have won 5 Super Bowls. They have played, not counting this year, they have played in 7.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Where are you going with this?
The 7 times that they made it to the Super Bowl, 5 of those times, the team that they beat in the NFC Championship had a shade of blue in their logo.
Wait,
all 5 times.
Wait, hold on, say that again. So all the teams that they beat in the Super Bowl had
all the teams. So every time they won the Super Bowl, the team they beat in the NFC Championship had a shade of blue in their logo. Okay. What color are the Lions?
Blue.
So, if history adds up, and the 2 times they lost in the Super Bowl, the team that they beat in the Conference Championship was not blue. It was the Packers and the Falcons.
Okay.
So history adds up. The team is blue, which means the Niners are winning the Super Bowl.
The Falcons have won a Super Bowl?
No, they beat the Falcons.
Oh, they beat. Oh, okay.
So if the math adds up, because like the 5 times they won the Super Bowl, in the NFC Championship, they beat the Cowboys twice, the Bears twice, and the Rams once.
Yeah.
All 5. Well, there's 3 teams. They all have blue in their logo.
I'll hold you to it. I hope the second one is true.
I hope it's right.
I hope the second one is true. I hope the Kirk Cousins one is.
If you need to see it, here's the list. It's backwards, but here's the list.
No, it flips around in the camera.
Okay, cool.
Okay. 1 Super Bowl. Oh, interesting.
See?
Interesting.
So, hopefully it's right.
Hopefully. I can't have the Niners or Chiefs win.
I can't do it anymore.
So today, as of February 1st, all head coaching positions got filled.
I feel like they got filled pretty quick.
They
I
did.
feel like this doesn't happen this quick usually.
Definitely did. Dan Quinn went to the Commanders. Mike McDonald,
the new youngest head coach of the NFL.
The new youngest head coach, went to the Seahawks, which leaves, drumroll please, what's his name, Bill Belichick and Mike Vrabel, both out of the head coaching position. And little fun fact for you, this will be the first season in NFL history that Bill Belichick has not been a coach in the NFL since his senior year in college in 1974.
Hey, maybe he'll go back to his roots.
At the Giants?
The Giants defensive coordinator. We have
Big
an opening.
Blue, baby. Big Blue.
We have an opening.
Where did Wink Martindale go again?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. But let's get some.
It's a red team, I think.
I think the Seahawks. That's a great hire. That is a great hire. I think that the Seahawks defense needed a defensive coordinator to get them going, and I think he's just the guy. I think he'll get that offense going. He'll get that defense particularly going.
Wink hasn't signed anywhere, by the way.
Oh, he's just afraid.
He just decided to leave.
Got you. No, that's real. I wouldn't want to stay with the Giants anyway.
Yeah.
I think Dan Quinn, good addition for the Commanders. I don't think that their roster is that far off from being a decent team. I think you've got two solid running backs. You've got three very good receivers. I think Sam Howell is not that bad. He had a good year until like the first 3 weeks of the season where he was just throwing like 40 interceptions a game. But other than that, at one point he was the NFL's yards leader. So
yes, he was. He carried me in fantasy for a while.
Carried you in fantasy, I know.
Neither of us won though, so
no, fourth place, baby.
Guess who got third?
Yeah, just for you guys that are listening, I made 13 trades.
Number one seed.
1-3. I was 13 and 3.
You won what, 11 games in a row?
I won 11 games in a row. I was 1-2. That was the first time in my fantasy football history that I had a losing season, and I lost in the first round of the playoffs because I had the bye.
No.
So I lost.
Oh, you did lose in the first. No.
Yeah,
you did.
I did. I had the bye, and I lost in the first round that I played.
In the third place game, I beat you by 2 points.
4. It was 4.
It was
I'm
4.
so upset about that. Can I just list my team right now? I know
Go
we're
ahead.
talking about something completely different.
Go
Brock
ahead.
Purdy at quarterback, Alvin Kamara, Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs is one of my flex. I had CeeDee Lamb. Who was my second wide receiver? Nico Collins, thank you. And then in my other flex, I had either
you threw Jaden Reed in there sometimes.
No, but it was a much more dominant. I had another flex. As my 10, and I had Mark Andrews until I traded for David Njoku when he got injured.
Who was your other
best team in the league by far, and I lost in the first round that I played in. But
to Landon.
It
was the Amari Cooper game.
52 points.
But I mean, you lost to the champion, so like.
Yeah, it's not that bad. But anyway, going back to our coaching.
Who was your other flex?
Who was my other flex?
Michael Pittman,
the GOAT, the absolute GOAT.
And you tried Adam Thielen.
And Adam Thielen. My team was so good. This was a 12 man, by the way. 12 man. 12 man. 12 man. I just need to repeat that. 12. 1-2.
My team sucked too. I don't know how I made it that far. I don't know how I made it as far as I did. My team.
No, your team wasn't that. I mean, your team was fine. It just got ravaged by injuries, and then all your players just stopped playing.
Dude, I was starting Jalen Warren week after week. My playoff starter was Devin Singletary.
Hey, man, you do well.
Hey, but my bench, I had Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and Antonio Brown.
Veteran mentality right there.
By the way, I just want to make it known.
Uh-huh.
Jonathan Mingo was on my team from day one.
You just never played him?
Yeah. I had Madison. Dude, this team sucked.
Yeah, this is just a fantasy football podcast now.
No, it is. Eventually, it will be.
Eventually, it will. Hopefully,
Next
we
season.
get there. Hopefully, we get there. But yeah, new coaching hires. I think that honestly, I think that Mike Vrabel should have been a head coach. I think he's better than some of the guys that were hired.
I think Vrabel could have gone anywhere.
I think he could have too. I think he's better than the Falcons head coach. I think he's better than
who even did the Falcons hire?
What's his name? What's his name? Hold on.
I have no idea.
I'm looking this up right now.
I actually don't know who they hired.
Falcons.
I know they hired someone.
Head coach. Raheem Morris. That's who it was. Raheem Morris.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Mike Vrabel. Yeah.
What we got going for next week? We got to do a little bit more Super Bowl predictions, and then
talk about our awards predictions.
Finally. Right, awards predictions.
We tried to do that the first week, but the audio file did not the audio cut out.
Yeah, that's a little teaser. We tried to do that first week, and then.
And so we're just gonna re-record it. I have some different answers now.
Okay.
Than I did that week.
All right.
Uh-oh.
What?
My computer froze. There we go. We're back.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, that's what we got next week. Awards predictions, some more Super Bowl predictions. Finally, talk about my Calvin Ridley topic.
Finally, 3 weeks in the waiting.
But yeah.
All right.
I think that's it for this week.
Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate y'all.
I will see you in the NBA section that you will see that Nick will not be in because he doesn't watch basketball. Thank you.
Big fella, we just started talking about fucking fantasy.
Welcome to the NBA section of this podcast. We have a lot to talk about this week because we didn't have an NBA section last week. So I just want to hop right into it. First thing I want to talk about is how amazing the Knicks have been playing as of late. They are 14-2 in 2024 since trading for OG Anunoby, and they have just been unstoppable. And a big part of this is just the play of, I said in the first episode, the whole Knicks thing is like next man up. Dante DiVincenzo has proven himself to be an NBA starting caliber player. In his last 5 games, he's had 33, 28, 11, 16, 11. Plus 27, plus 24. They've just been insane. And it's amazing to me. I'm a Knicks fan, but it's just like they had back-to-back games, Monday, Tuesday, against the Hornets and the Jazz, and they blew both teams out. Like there were very few points in both of those games where it really looked like the Knicks were going to lose. They're on an 8-game win streak, and this team has just been playing unbelievable. DiVincenzo, since January 1st, is averaging 15 points a game, and he's just been an amazing player. And another guy I want to talk about is the man they traded for, OG Anunoby. In the month of January, is averaging 15 points a game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. His plus minus, he has not had a game in the minuses with the Knicks. His lowest game was a +2, and that was in a loss to the Orlando Magic. Like, the Knicks just can't lose, it seems like. And Leon Rose is looking for that star player that this team's looking for when the man that they want to trade for is already here. Jalen Brunson. He's averaging 27 points a game this season. 27 points, 4 rebounds, 6.5 assists. I just can't say enough how much I'm just impressed by this team. In the month of January, he's averaging 29 points a game and almost 8 assists, 4 rebounds. This team is just amazing. And even then, like, Jalen Brunson has been this team's best player. He's been consistently their best player. There are a couple games where he didn't play. One of the losses, he didn't play. but when he does play, he's just doing amazing. And Julius Randle, so they've been performing well. Those back-to-back games, they were missing Randle and Anunoby, and they still blew out both of those teams. Randle's been doing amazing. Randle has been averaging 25 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists in January. And I'm just kind of shooting out stats here, but it just goes to show how good this team has been, how good they will continue to be. Even Isaiah Hartenstein, since Mitchell Robinson's been hurt. He's stepped up. That's the biggest thing. Isaiah Hartenstein has stepped up. He's averaging 12 rebounds a game in January. And another guy that I want to just give a shout out to is Precious Achiuwa. Without Randle, he's been starting. He's been playing amazing. In the 2 games that Randle missed, he had 18 points and then 9 points. The 2 games before that, 4 games before that, he had 10, 10, 9, and 11 rebounds. And in that 11 rebound game, he had 18 points against Toronto. I can't begin to express how much I love this team and how excited I am for the rest of the season to just see how it's going to go. I think they're at the 3rd seed right. They're the number 3 team in the East. That's insane for the Knicks. And I'm just excited to see where this team goes moving forward. Speaking of top teams in the East, I want to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks firing Adrian Griffin for only 4 months of a 4-year deal. And I get they're on somewhat of a cold streak, whatever. They're still a top team in the East. And I get it. The locker room, there was animosity. There's animosity in the locker room, and there was bickering in the locker room. Adrian Griffin told Giannis and Lillard to look for open guys instead of driving to the basket themselves. And when they're your best 2 players, come on. Like, no, everybody needs to get the ball. When these are your 2 best players, they're doing what they need to do. They're scoring. They're winning games for you. You got to let it happen. And he also said that they didn't bring defensive intensity. That's what your other guys are for. I get that you need that in all 5 players. But these are your top 2 guys. You got to cut them a little bit of slack. And even when they did win, the wins weren't very convincing. But a win's a win in my book, and I just don't think that it was the right idea. It was a 4 months to a 4-year deal. I think you could have at least let the season ride out. But on that note, they did hire Doc Rivers, great coach, 76ers coach, though maybe a little hate here from the Knicks fan. 76ers coach, great coach. But now they have 3 coaches on the books. Their old coach, Mike Budenholzer, Adrian Griffin, and now Doc Rivers. You're paying 3 coaches that were all coaches for your team within the span of a year. Come on. Like, it's not – I don't think this was the right decision for the Bucks. I'm just going to leave it at that. The next thing that I want to talk about also happened last week was the Terry Rozier trade to the Miami Heat. I think it was a good trade for both sides. The Heat got Terry Rozier, a playmaking, scoring guard. He's averaging 23 points a game, 4 rebounds, 6.6 assists, about a steal a game. He's shooting, 46%, 36 from 3. And I just think it's a great ad for the Heat, who are, I would say, middle of the road this year. And, yeah, 24-23, about middle of the pack. They're a playoff team, no doubt. But it was a great ad for them. Playmaker, he scores, is just a great ad. And they gave the Hornets Kyle Lowry and a 2027 first-round pick that is lottery protected. That will be a 2028 pick if they don't get it. And Lowry is averaging 8 points a game, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. He's shooting well, though. He's coming off the bench. He's shooting 43%, 38 from 3. he started 35 games, but the playmaking duties are with Tyler Harrow, Jamie Jacques, and all those guys. So I think it was a good dump off for the Heat, getting rid of Kyle Lowry and a first round pick. But if they perform well, it is what it is. Terry Rozier, an amazing ad for the Miami Heat. I think that adds a nice playmaker to their starting five. The last thing I want to cover today, it's a relatively big topic, is that we have had in the last week, since the last time I talked about NBA on this podcast, 4 players have scored 60 points in a game, 2 of which scored 70. And of those 4, 2 of them lost their game. I just want to talk about that really quick. First, I just want to talk about Luka, 73 points. Amazing game, 73, 10, and 7 in a 148-143 win versus the Atlanta Hawks, the highest scoring game of the season. I really don't have much else to say about that. Amazing performance by Luka, highest scoring game of the season. Well, I think 4th highest scoring game of all time. And it's just an amazing game. Good job. Great performance by Luka. But I feel like that is the game with the least amount of controversy surrounding it. Not controversy, but like there's not a lot of information surrounding it that is concerning for a team. Next one I want to talk about is Devin Booker dropping 62 against the Indiana Pacers. 62, 5-4, 133 to 131 loss. Suns lost that game where Devin Booker scored 62 points. He had almost half their points, and they still couldn't pull it out. And I just think when you got a guy that drops 60 in a game, you got to win the game. I don't really know what else to say. You have to win that game. And both games in his career where he scored 60 plus were losses. He scored 70 in 2017. They lost to the Celtics. It was 130 to 120. He scored more than half their points in that game. They still lost. Like that, the Suns need to, I would say, fix it because it's hard to predict when your guys need to get 60 points. When you see a guy getting 60 points, you gotta try and win the game. Like, come on. The next game I want to talk about is Joel Embiid's 70-point game. 70 points, 18 rebounds, 5 assists in a 133-122 win against the Spurs. Great performance by Embiid. Great win. But they've lost all 4 of their games since then. Now, I don't really know. Obviously, I don't think it has anything to do with him dropping 70 points. But the 76ers are on a skid right now. It's just not looking good for them. The Knicks jumped them in the standings. They're now, and the Cavaliers are jumping them in the standings. So they're now 5th. They were 3rd yesterday. The 76ers are now 5th in the East. And the Knicks are climbing up on the Bucks. The Sixers just need to stay back from the Pacers. The Pacers are 3 games behind them. The Sixers and Cavs are tied. They're 1 game back of the Knicks. The East is a great race. And I'm looking forward to what happens this year. I think it's going to be an amazing Eastern Conference race to the playoffs. And the final game is Karl-Anthony Towns. This is one with the most controversy surrounding it. It's Karl-Anthony Towns scoring 62 points, having 8 rebounds and 2 assists. 128-125 loss versus the Charlotte Hornets. I feel like everybody knows about this game. And honestly, I'm going to read you some quotes from the coach, Chris Finch, and I agree with everything that he said. He called the performance an absolutely disgusting performance of defense and immature basketball, and I couldn't agree more. Anthony Edwards had 0 points going into the 4th quarter. He didn't score until they benched Karl-Anthony Towns. Karl-Anthony Towns, I get you want to give the hot hand the ball, let him shoot. But it gets to a point where you got to start dishing it off to other people because he's going to start getting double teamed. So he has to start dishing it off to other people. And Karl-Anthony Towns just kept shooting it for himself. I think he wanted to hit 70. And it was just a bad look for the Timberwolves team, who are now they're still first. They're still first in the West. Nuggets are right up there, though. Nuggets, Clippers, Thunder, right up there on the Timberwolves. And that game was not a nice showing. And another thing that he said, obviously they were trying to feed a hot hand, look for the hot hand. But at some point, they have to get back to making the right play and doing the right things. And I think I pretty much just summed that up. But you need to I said before, you need to win the games that your player scores 60 points. Like, come on. And I don't know. It's just sad to see. I think a guy playing for himself, like, come on, step up your game, dish the ball out sometimes. Don't just take the ball for yourself. Try to get an accolade for yourself instead of getting a win for your team. And honestly, I think that's where I'm going to leave off for the NBA section of the podcast this week. So I believe that's our last session for this week's podcast. I think we're only doing NFL, which we watched before, and the NBA. So I just want to thank you guys for watching, listening to week 4 of the Beyond the Bench podcast. I will see you next week with some more sports news. See ya.